So, very good evening, everyone who are in India, and a very good morning, people outside India. There are a few participants outside India also joined us today. So, it's an honor and a sense of pride for all of us to be together here. And I personally take a privilege to introduce you all to one of these unique programs that we have designed recently. My name is Soma, and I head the overall admissions at Insofi. And today we have some of the finest esteemed guests that we've invited for the launch today. And most of you all have received communications over emails, SMS, WhatsApp, and other channels. And this is a program that we've launched and we've recently designed, giving our expertise of building both the data sciences and the business management strengths together. So today we have Dr. Bill, who is a program chair at Walsh, and Dr. Suzanne, who is a provost and executive vice president at Walsh. And we have Karen, who is an executive director and admissions and enrollment services at Walsh College. Due to certain connectivity issues, Dr. Murthy is not joining us today. However, we have Dr. Venkatesh Sunkat, who is a professor and also a dean for the Walsh College program at Insofi, and our dear old Gaurav, who has been very helpful in spearheading our collaborations in the universities and maintaining the relationship. So he heads the Insofi education in the US. So thank you all of you for joining us today. And without any further delay, I would request Dr. Venkatesh to just speak a few moments about the program. And before that, one small request to all the participants. We will ensure that we answer every question or every query that you might have during the presentation. We'll have it in the next 30 minutes that we planned for. And we will ensure we address all the questions and comments post the completion of the session. But please feel free to type your questions in the Q&A section or the chat box, and we'll have all the respective questions addressed towards the end. Dr. Venkatesh, over to you.
Thanks. So really appreciate it. I can't share my screen. Can you? I know can you make me a host or something?
So I think I just did that. Just a moment. I'm just making you. So yeah, I think you can do that now.
Yep. Thanks a lot. So, okay. So thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. First of all, good evening to all the participants in India, and good morning to everybody outside India. So thank you very much, Som, for giving the kind introduction. So my name is Venkatesh Sunkat, and I'm one of the professors here in Insofi. In addition to that, I'm also basically being the dean for this program with Walsh College. So what I will do, I'll spend a few minutes basically talking about what the program is all about, what are the challenges in the program, and why this program is selected, and things like that. And so that you can guys get an idea of what the program is, what are we going to teach at a high level, and also what is the advantages for the students to do this program. So first thing I just wanted to start about is, why AC sort of, Insofi, which is sort of known for its, data science and everything, why are we sort of partnering with, different institutions, including, Walsh that we are doing today? One of the things that I wanted to talk about, and this is something, what are the goals of, what should I say, Insofi? Insofi stands for, as you know, International School of Engineering, and there are three actually sort of a high-level goals that we're looking for. The industry today, if you look at it, are looking at people with data science knowledge into three buckets. The first bucket that they're talking about, they're saying, I want some people who have knowledge in AI and engineering. What does that mean? People who are very programmatic and things like that, who can learn AI, plus they can apply the engineering part of it, which is basically they can do biomedical engineering, mechanical engineering, but apply the AI science part of it. The second category of students that the AI field is looking at, the data science field they're looking at, is people who are good in programming, AI and computer science. Basically, they wanted to sort of do this new model development, algorithm development. The third category, which is a very, very fast, probably one of the fastest growing category we feel, is they want a lot of people who not only understand the AI domain piece of it, but also wants to understand the business side of it or the management part of it. Because what is happening today is the field of AI is so widespread that it's no more related to, somebody does the engineering part and, the remaining part just utilizes it. They want everybody to sort of understand that. And so there's a huge demand for people who can understand the management part of it, plus the data science or the artificial intelligence part of it. And that's the third part, which is called AI and management. What we have done here in Insofi, and that is something, is we have multiple collaborative programs for this. These multiple collaborative programs, one of the biggest advantages of these programs are that what we do is we teach what we are best, what should I say, suited for, or what we have trained for. So here in Insofi, we teach our areas of excellence, that's being, descriptive technologies. Maybe it's data science, robotics, AI, supply chain, but with respect to AI, finance, but again with quant finance with respect to AI. So that is what we teach. And then we have partnered with really good schools around the globe so that they take the other part of it. Maybe it is engineering, where they teach biomedical engineering or medical engineering, be it pure, what should I say, computer science, or maybe it is the management part, which is the partner. So one advantage here is that is the student gets exposed to multiple domains, not just the AI part, but the specialization. It could be either engineering, computer science, or management. And also one of the things that is they get to work in diverse geographies. We know they can do the AI part here and then go and do the other part, maybe management in another geography. So they get exposure to various cultures, various working environments, various thought processes, which is very important. The question is why AI, right? And if you look at, and recently, we did quickly looked at LinkedIn. Basically, if you look at for 2019 and even half of 2020, basically they say a lot of these job sites and say AI holds the 6 of the top 10 most promising careers according to the, and also according to recent World Economic Forums and project management and digital marketing. So AI is growing a lot, guys, but what the companies are requesting is they need people with AI plus what, and that is what we are trying to fill, that AI plus, and that plus is what we are partnering with various organizations. So with that, I always start with this, sort of, they say a picture is 1,000 words, right? So basically to say two things, there's the next one, this and the next picture talks about, it sort of talks about the impact of, how data is exploding in the world. And the second thing is the impact of how digitization, is impacting the world. A lot of you might have seen these pictures. Basically, this is the 2005 taken in Venice. Basically in Rome, basically they're waiting for the Pope to be nominated. So every so many years, either the Pope resigns or unfortunately passes away. So they wait there, basically here to know that who's the next new Pope. So 2005 people are waiting, and once the new Pope is announced, they come and on the balcony, and they know. So they're waiting. The most important part here is you see 1 or 2 digital cameras and people are waiting. The same thing was repeated in 2013. I know it's 7 years old, but still see the impact of it. This is 2013. It's amazing, right? Everybody has a smartphone, but that's the question. Everybody has a tablet or everybody has a smartphone. The question is, what do they do once they get the picture? Every time they get the picture, they start posting it on, your Instagram, they start posting it on Facebook, they start posting it on. That's how data is created. And also you can see the impact of digitization. Now everybody has something not to get a picture. The same thing every time you do an online purchase, every time you hire a Uber or a Lyft or anything, right? Or a Ola in India, you create a digital sort of a footprint. And that's how this digital, data is created. And so the science part of it from data science is, what do I do with the data? And that's where the AI, artificial intelligence, comes into picture. So the data part is how data is created. I just gave an example. And then what do we do with the science? That is where what do I do with the science is the engineering part of the data, the AI part. So with that, why did we, sort of launch the International Tech MBA with a concentration in data science, right? Similarly, with data and engineering, we had data and computer science. We have done AI and management. Why did we launch this Tech MBA with concentration in data science? And we have launched this with Walsh College. Walsh College is one of the, really good college in US. It basically does, mainly they do is management. They're very well known for their management acumen. Insofi is known for our data science acumen. And a combination of that is what makes the program successful. So why an international MBA with concentration in data science? So for that, let's understand, basically, if you have an education of, let's say 16 years of formal education, You are one of, if you are an either a working professional or you've just finished your degree, if you are a working professional and you're passionate about business decision and data science, you just don't want to do data science from an engineering perspective, but a computer science perspective, but you want to understand how do I apply data science to everyday business? How do I apply data science to my everyday work? And that's what the lot of these companies are looking for. Not just I want people to understand data science, but they want me to explain to me in a language of business so that they can take a, what should I say, a problem. Because every problem today in the industry doesn't start as a data science problem. Every problem in the industry today starts as a business problem. And then you apply data science to solve that problem. So a lot of these companies are looking for people to basically take a problem, which is a business problem, and convert it into a data science, do your math or do your analysis, and then convert it back into business, because business wants to understand what insights do I get from that problem. And hence, a concentration with tech and MBA with a business and a data science background is really going to help you. If you are passionate about those things, and if you're also seeking international exposure, which is a very important, not that you work in one country, if you're working, you're already working in one country, but you get an exposure to work in different countries, and you get to work in different environments, you get to work in different cultures and different thinking. The way we solve a problem in India is completely different from the way we solve the problem is solved in US or any other country, right? That international exposure helps you to think differently, think outside the box. And if you're looking for that, then one of your aspirations, and this is something that the industry really needs, is basically if you want to become a techno manager or something called a translator. This is a term that the Silicon Valley has actually invented. But basically that says companies are looking for people who can understand both the data science and the business piece of it. The reason they want to understand both is they want to take a business problem, as I told you, convert it into a data science, get the results, and then convert it back into a business language. And that is what they are looking for. And that is very important for people. And hence, that if you are sort of aspiration is to work in such domains, then this International Tech MBA program is probably one of your best vehicles for you to do that. Now, let me spend, why International Tech MBA? So I told you International Tech MBA, but why? What is it that will help you, and what is that you will learn that, so that when you combine your data science and business, what is it that you will happen? So once you understand data science, first thing is companies are looking today, if you look at the business conditions today, companies don't want to hire just a finance manager or a finance person and a data, science thing. Even though they're going to hire a data scientist and a finance, a manager, they want to make sure that the finance manager understands data science and the data scientist understands finance. Because that's the only way they think that this synergy of understanding the problem statements work. And that is very, very important. And so they are more and more pushing people who have data science program to understand the business side of it, and pushing the business people to understand the basics of data science piece of it. The second part of it is, once you understand the business acumen, the second thing is, how do I basically solve a problem? How do I explain it in the language of the business? By basically doing, if I given some data, they want everybody to basically to be sort of what I say is data native. What does that mean? That means to say, if I have some data, I should be able to do some basic analysis and things like that. And that is what you will also learn in our program. The basic statistics, which is the foundation for data science, is sort of something you learn in a program. So you not just learn basically to do about data science, but you will also learn the business side of the data science. Why is this problem given? If you are in the manager in this problem, or if you are solving this problem, how do you basically take this problem to the business? How do you explain it to the business? And that is something that's very important that you learn in our program. The second part of it is, it doesn't matter what the business want, I can't model it anyway. So just because you know data science doesn't mean that you can do whatever you want. That whatever you do should be beneficial to the business. Whatever you do should be advantageous to the business. And that is the second part you will learn. You will learn the technology part of it. But once you learn the technology and the programming part of it, you will know how to apply it to the problem statements and how to explain it to the business, so that how is it beneficial to the business. And that's the second part you will learn in our program. The third part, which is as important as that, is, what do you mean I missed the target? End of the day, the business people wants to understand the language of business. You want to explain whatever you've done in data science, convert it back into the business domain, and you need to explain to them what does it mean in the language of business. And that is basically the design thinking part of it, the visualization part of it, and that is what you will learn with the Walsh School, Walsh College. So basically, you learn the data science piece of it with us, and then you will learn the management piece, the business piece with the Walsh. And hence, a combination of data science plus management is what the International Tech MBA is all about. So a couple of things about Insofi. If you're not familiar with Insofi, we have a lot of, basically, we do a lot of research, not just in data science, right, but a lot of digital, I call it disruptive technologies. Both we have professors, we have about 25 professors who are, which 15 of them are full-time and 10 who are actually part-time. What do you mean by part-time? These are people who have actually worked in, working in industry. Even our full-time professors, including me, have about 20 plus years of industry experience. All of us have got industry experience and then come into the, the teaching. So that way, what we bring into the, when we teach, we bring our experience. In addition to that, two things we do, guys, and that's very important. We do a lot of corporate trainings. What does the corporate training helps us? The corporate training helps us to understand what is relevant to the industry. What is the latest things that the industry wants to know? And hence, we can also make sure that our syllabus is modified to what the asks of the industry are. The third thing that we do, which is also important, is we also do consulting. What is the help in consulting? Consulting helps us to basically understand the real life problems. How do I solve real life problems and bring those problems back into my classroom? Once I bring those problems back into my classroom, the students will be not just working on some theoretical problems, but they'll be also working on real life problems which the industry actually is facing. Obviously, because of a lot of reasons, we may change the name of the industry and the data can be morphed a little bit, obviously, because of certain NDA and other things. But the most important thing is the students will be working on real life problems which the industry is facing today. That way, we have a lot of horizontals which our professors are sort of experienced and experts in, and also we have a lot of verticals which couple of our professors join together to form a vertical. The horizontals are, as you can see, robotics, blockchain, quantum machine learning, deep learning, AI adoption in business. Similarly, on the verticals, we have retail, supply chain, education, healthcare, financial services. So we have a lot of things. But the thing is, we only when we say financial services or when we say healthcare or supply chain, we teach you how to apply AI to that. We may not teach you the actual theory behind it, not too much. That is where we are expecting our partner schools to pick it over, so that you can learn the both sides of it, the AI part of it or the AI adoption part of it from us, and then the actual implementation, the theory and the knowledge part of it, or the fundamentals part of that verticals from our partners organization. So with that, what we do in the International Tech MBA is it consists of three parts, guys. The first part is basically the data science part, which I have telling you, which is something you start with us, you finish that here in the first part. Once you've finished that, next you'll fly over to US and you will do the business strategy with Walsh. And in addition to that, you will also do your internships. So you will have 2 internships in the program, and both will be part of your, the International Tech MBA program. So since it's an MBA program, obviously you will have the data science with us, the business strategy with Walsh, and the internship is something that you will do there in the US. So that is how the flow or the framework of the program is, where you start with Insofi in India, finish the data science piece of it, then fly to US. At the Walsh College, you talk about the business strategy and you learn about finance, you learn about management, you learn about operation research, things like that, which actually helps you to understand the business side of things. And in addition to that, you will do the internship piece. This is my last slide, and then I will turn it over to think. What is Insofi? A little bit more of Insofi so that you know everything. So basically, we have actually in India, we're based in 3 major places. We are in Bangalore, Mumbai, and Hyderabad. In addition to that, we are also having, collaborations with IIT Roper in India. And so we offer some programs with them. Internationally, we are also having programs with REN, which is in France, REN School of Business. Similarly, we have, Cleveland, where we have Case Western University. Similarly, we have Ottawa, where we have Carleton University. Similarly, in UK, University of Strathclyde, we have an understanding where similar programs we do with an MSc program. As I told you, right, we have about 25 total staff members, 15 plus 10, 15 permanent and 10, adjunct faculties. We have we also offer a DBA program with REN. So we have about 30 plus students who are actually in our DBA program. Totally, with all our professors put together, we have about 75 plus patents. Totally, with all our professors put together, we have about 300 plus publications. And overall, if you look at all our alumni, including our corporate training alumni, our students, and everything, we have more than about 10,000 plus alumni from our who have sort of graduated from the Insofi school. So with that, I would like to turn it over back to Som. Thank you very much, and I look looking forward to you for the program.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Venkatesh, and request Dr. Suzanne or Dr. Bill to please take it over. I hope you have the presenting rights. I think I made you all the co-host. Please feel free to share if you have a presentation too.
Sure. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Dr. Suzanne Siegel, and I have the privilege of serving as the Provost and the Executive Vice President for Walsh College of Business and Accountancy in Troy, Michigan in the United States. And I'm very grateful to be here today. I will spare you. I do not have a PowerPoint because I know that my esteemed colleagues will be sharing with you. But I wanted to welcome you all and just speak for a second about Walsh, our faculty, our mission, and what our alumni are doing in the world. Our faculty are world class, second to none. They have credentials, the academic credentials, all the way up to the doctoral level credentials, as well as the professional industry experience. Many of these fine faculty have served as vice presidents, CEOs. Dr. Bill Bateman was president of a university, of a college in Michigan, in the United States at Michigan. And they have extensive experience in management and in business and in strategy. And so they bring that to the classroom. So you get a blend, the best of absolutely both worlds, the academic rigor and the credentials and that recognized respect, as well as the professional experience. And you put that together, and that's what you get in a Walsh course in the classroom. And then when you graduate, when you earn that MBA, that ITech, that International Tech MBA, you have that credential and you can go and work in a variety of jobs, especially in the United States, because if you do your internships and then you demonstrate that with an employer, that opens up pathways. So we're very excited for this partnership. We really are grateful to our colleagues at Insofi for reaching out, for making this work. Grateful to Dr. Bill Bateman for the work that he's done, to Karen Mahaffey on our end for the work that she is doing to help make runways and pathways for the students, and we really look forward to it. I'd be happy to take any questions, my colleagues, if anyone has any for me, but I would be happy to answer any questions afterwards, but I'm just very grateful to welcome you, and I can tell you with great confidence, Walsh does business well. It's got a 100-year history, going on 100 years. Actually, we're coming up on our 100-year anniversary, and we do it very well. We have a history of it. We have strong connections in the community and great respect with the business community. And it is my belief, and I know business well, that business is what drives the economy and drives the world forward. So thank you, everyone. Welcome to this event, and we look forward to welcoming Insofi students at Walsh College.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suzanne. That's wonderful to hear you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We're on mute, Dr. Bill. You might want to unmute once.
Well, there we go. I think we're good now. Hi, I'm Dr. Bill Bateman, and I'm really excited to be here with all of you today to tell you a little bit more about Walsh College and about where you'd be living for the next few years if you should decide to join us, and I hope you do. And then I'm going to go into a little deeper dive on what you'll be studying when you come here to the United States. So you've already met Dr. Siegel, and thank you, Susie, for that great introduction of Walsh. Also with us today is Karen Mahaffey, who's the Executive Director of Admissions and Enrollment Services. So after you start the enrollment process, Mrs. Mahaffey will be the one that will guide you through that along with her fine staff. And then again, my name is Dr. Bill Bateman. I'm the Director of MBA programs and the Chair of the Management Department. Before coming into higher ed, I had 25 years in banking and finance, and then have had a number of positions at different schools in higher ed over the last 15 years. So I just want to tell you a little bit about Walsh. This is a picture of the front of our beautiful campus, which is on one of the main thoroughfares in Troy, Michigan. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But it's an interesting school because we only accept undergraduate students at the third year level. So they would have taken all of their prerequisites and general studies at what we call community or junior colleges here, and then transfer into Walsh. But what we're here to talk about today is our MBA program. And in reality, our MBA program makes up 2/3 of our school. 1/3 of our students are doing their undergrad, while 2/3 of our students are working on a master's program. And in addition to the MBA, we also have a Master's of Science in Information Technology, a Master's of Accounting, a Master's of Science in Finance, a Master's of Science in Tax, and we have the MBA and also management programs. We also recently relaunched our doctorate program, and currently in our first semester of relaunch have 10 candidates that are working towards their doctorate at Walsh. As Dr. Siegel said, the school is almost 100 years old. I'm going to take the liberty of calling it 100 years old because I'm sure they've been planning for it at least that long. But next year, if you come and visit with us and study with us, you'll be able to help us celebrate our 100-year anniversary while you're here. So there's a lot of history and a lot of what we call brand equity associated with Walsh College. It's consistently rated, our MBA program is consistently rated as one of the top MBA programs. And you can see here a sample of just some of the awards and rankings that we've earned just in the last couple of years. So you're coming to a school that's not only well known, but it's well respected as well. We have accreditations. Our regional accreditation is the Higher Learning Commission. And we also have a specialty accreditation that's only given to those business schools that meet the high standards of the ACBSP. ACBSP was just recently renewed for another 10 years. And we just finished our visit with Higher Learning Commission. And all indications are that we'll be approved for another 10 years, although we're still waiting for that letter in the mail. So as Dr. Siegel said, we have faculty with industry experience, both full-time and part-time. Our full-time faculty must have industry experience. So when you're in an accounting class, you're going to be learning from somebody that was an accountant. Or if you're in a finance class, you're going to learn from somebody that was in the finance industry. Our part-time, or what we call adjunct instructors, are currently working in the field that they're teaching. So you're going to be learning not only from very highly qualified academically, but very highly qualified with experience. So I want to tell you about Troy, Michigan, because this is where you'd be living for the next few years or in the area when you decide to come visit us or come to study with us. So you can see on the map here that Troy, Michigan is located in the southeast corner of Michigan. It's considered to be part of the greater Detroit area, but in reality, it's about 20 miles north of Detroit, downtown Detroit. So it's what we call a suburb, and I'm sure you have those in India as well. But you can see that, you know, it's in proximity to Chicago. You can drive over to Chicago for a weekend and get back, you know, with more than enough time to get started again in your internship or classes on Monday. You know, some other areas, New York, you know, that probably, you know, is a little more travel. And just so y'all know, I live right here where I'm pressing my arrow right now, down in the southwest corner of Virginia on the North Carolina line. And I live in a small town, Fancy Gap. The biggest city next to it is Mount Airy, and that's why Andy Griffith from the Andy Griffith Show grew up there, and that's why we call it Mayberry. But to tell you more about Troy, Michigan, it's really, it's two things. It's an area of heavy commerce. There are almost as many office chairs as there are beds in the city of Troy. And most of the real estate, which is very near campus, we're right in the center of it, is vertical, high-rise office buildings and other places of commerce. We also have one of the finest shopping centers in the world at Somerset Mall. It's actually two malls that are connected by a catwalk over an 8-lane highway. So there's two separate malls. I always tease people that the South Mall or the North Mall is where I shop, and the South Mall is where they have the Gucci's and the Tiffany's, and I'd like to be able to shop there someday. But my favorite store at Somerset is the Apple store. So you see a picture of it here as well. Troy is a great community. I lived there most recently. They have a lot of city recreational activities. And you'll see there's a swimming pool that you'd be able to use there that's run by the city. There are more restaurants in the city of Troy than you can think of, all the way from small fast food to upscale, steakhouses. So you won't get hungry. There's a lot of housing in Troy. We have both single family homes. I recently rented a home in Troy. They're in great supply. Here you see an apartment and the outside of what we call a condo. So there's a lot of opportunities. Much of the housing is within a couple miles of the campus. Some of it is within walking distance. So we'll take a quick look at the Tech MBA Walsh curriculum, and this is the business where you'll get the business acumen and the strategy skills. And you start off with in the summer before you would come, or the semester before you would come to Troy, you would take an online course in business fundamentals, or as we call it, foundations of success, of business success. And this is a 10-week course that gives you a background in all of the business disciplines that you'll be studying in greater detail as you go through the program here. The program core consists of a financial managerial accounting course, a marketing course, a design thinking course, a finance course, an organizational behavior and leadership course, and then we finish off, as you see, all the way down here at Capstone with a strategy course that brings everything together. Your last 2 semesters you'll spend in 2 different internships. Let me real briefly go through these classes to give you an idea of what you'll be studying when you come to Walsh. I've already talked a little bit about the foundations of business success. This is a course that will be completed online before you arrive in the United States. The next class that you'll take in your first semester here in the United States is a financial and managerial accounting. And it's just a basic overview of accounting to get you familiar with reading and analyzing and understanding financial reports. We're certainly not going to try to make a CPA, certified public accountant, out of you in 1 semester, but we're giving you a good background that as a data scientist, you also have this part of the business acumen. The next class that you'll also be taking in the first semester is the marketing class, and will help you identify customer needs. You'll talk about product design, service, and communicating with customers and potential customers. So again, this is a good overview of marketing and will give you the acumen that you need to be successful as a data scientist and executive. This class is an interesting class, and I think the data scientists will do very well on this, but it's a different way of thinking, and that's called design thinking. And it starts with empathy, which is getting to know what your users' needs are, defining the problem, ideating or brainstorming, coming up with an actual physical prototype, getting feedback on that and reflecting. And we just recently put this course together with our partner, the Henry Ford Learning Institute, who along with Stanford School of Design and the Rothschild School of Design in Toronto, are the leading thought leaders in the area of design thinking. We'll take you through a principles of finance here, and we're going to use case studies and simulations. You'll find that throughout our curriculum, except for some of the heavy quant classes, you won't see a lot of exams. There'll be more papers, more simulation, more self-reflection, and simulations. We're also going to add in a class in leadership and organizational behavior. And at the end of this class, you will have a profile of what your strengths and weaknesses are as a leader. And the way we do this is through a series. First, we understand the theoretical models, and then we take self-assessments related to those models, and then you reflect on them. What are your strengths and weaknesses as a leader? Where can you improve? Where can you use your strengths to be even more effective? So a very good leadership class, but one that's very practical. As I tell students, if you had this class on Monday night, you would learn things on Monday night that you could take to work on Tuesday and put to use immediately. And then we finish off the core or the classroom experience with a management capstone. And this is both a strategic management and a simulation class. So you're going to learn from all the modern strategic thought leaders like Michael Porter, Prahalad Hamel, Jim Collins, Kaplan and Nortland, William Deming and Clay Christensen. But then we're going to apply these theories through the use of Harvard Business School case studies, using their case study method. And then there's going to be a semester-long business simulation that you'll be working with other students to actually run a simulated company in the virtual world. And then there are going to be 2 internships. Students will be placed in internships with local companies. As you know, Detroit is called Motor City, and there's a reason for that. We're very big in automotive, but in Troy, Michigan, we also have the world's largest employment service company, Kelly Services. We have, finance companies, large regional banks, as well as Rock Financial, which is the large mortgage company owned by Dan Gilbert, who also owns the basketball team in Cleveland. And then we'll be working with our career services department and the US and Insofi partners who will assist students with placements in these internships. But here's a picture of the Automation Alley Technology Park, and we are a partner in this operation. So if you start today, you can do that by getting in and applying and then working with Karen Mahaffey and her staff to continue. So those are my comments for today, and thank you so much. It's exciting to see so many of you here today.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Bill.
Yes.
Karen would like to speak for a few minutes, and then we'll request Gaurav to have a chat on the same.
Sure. So yes, actually I'm over the admissions and enrollment services area. So like Bill mentioned, once you start your application process, you'll be speaking to me and our staff. And we have, in particular, our international student coordinator and advisor, Lisa Scullin, and she walks our F1 students right through the entire process. She'll work with students on obtaining a visa. We have our own specialized new student orientation, and she also meets with her F1 students each semester, if not more often throughout the semester. And we also have international student groups that also have their own activities that they have outside of Walsh, but also a lot on campus at Walsh and just through Walsh. So we're very excited for this opportunity. We look forward to meeting all of you. And if you have any questions along the way, please don't hesitate to ask. I did see there was a question about tuition, and one thing I wanted to mention is that we do not have a different tuition fee for international students. So our tuition is $850 per credit hour, but the only additional fees is an actual $175 student fee and an international $250 fee per semester. But there is not different tuition rates for international students. So I wanted to make sure to point that out because that is different than a lot of the other schools. So welcome.
Thank you so much. Yes, that's indeed a difference. A lot of people have difference in the tuition fee. Thank you so much. Gaurav, request you to please talk about the internships and opportunities.
Thanks, Som, and thank you so much, all the distinguished guest speakers today. And I'm very proud to be part of this engagement. Thank you, Susie, for joining us today. Thank you, Bill, Karen. I really appreciate it. I put together a slide, like in a few slides, so that at least we can drive the conversation. We have a Q&A session toward the end where we can address some of the questions, and let's keep it more interactive, is what I can say. So I know Bill mentioned a few things about the state of Michigan, etc. So I'll start with talking about myself a little bit. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have been in US for more than 20 years, and I'm a proud resident of state of Michigan. I own three companies, Suits Analytics. I'm a CEO and founder, which specializes in data science and AI. We build custom solutions in data science and machine learning and AI. Blue Icy Water focuses on IT staffing and consulting, and Suitser Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit company where we focus on education, healthcare, and environmental issues. Suitser is having head office in Detroit, Michigan, which is where Walsh is located in the suburb of Detroit. Columbus, Ohio is our another office in US. We have a presence in Bahrain and India. Apart from my regular role, I'm also head of education at Americas at Insofi, and I'm a proud member from past couple of years into Data Analytics Advisory Board at Walsh College. Academically, I am not a PhD holder like other panelists here, but I've done like double masters in computer science and electronics. Brief about state of Michigan. It is also known as Wolverine State, and Bill briefly showed where we are. So I'm also calling and connecting from Detroit, Michigan. So we are kind of in the northeast, surrounded by Great Lakes. Capital of Michigan is Lansing. There are like Michigan is one of those states which is divided into two parts, like Upper Peninsula and Lower Peninsula. We are in the lower side of it. It's a beautiful state. I know I'm here from past 20 years, so I love this, and I can keep on talking great things about Michigan, Detroit, etc. But the major cities in our state of Michigan is like Detroit, Grand Rapids, Ann Arbor, Lansing, Kalamazoo, Saginaw. And as earlier Bill mentioned about Detroit, it is also called as Motor City. There are like diverse industries, diverse companies, a lot of corporation. I'll talk about few of them in future slides. But Detroit and Michigan was always called as a hub of auto industry. But we do have companies in food product, information technology, medical devices, healthcare, aerospace, military, etc. And obviously, Detroit is also known for the sporting event. We have the teams, Detroit Tiger, Detroit Lions, Pistons, and Red Wings. Since this program is about the Tech MBA, I would just like to highlight few points about the high-tech industry, specifically in the state of Michigan. And when we are talking like about state of Michigan, it does not mean that when you come here to US, you cannot get job outside of Michigan. The reason of we mentioning about Michigan is there are ample of opportunities within the state of Michigan that even if you don't want to relocate outside of Michigan, you have ample of opportunities to work and prosper in your future. So a few main headings. I will not go over the details. This presentation will be shared by the Insofi team, Som and his team. But mobility and automotive manufacturing, we are ranked number 1 in automotive manufacturing strength. 20% of the US auto production is done from state of Michigan. Michigan is also number 1 in automotive and mobility R&D. Michigan is also expanding its reach in advanced manufacturing, like 5th largest advanced manufacturing workforce in the country. And we are the largest in the production of military vehicles, 37% of the total contracts in the country. And then the city or the suburbs, Ann Arbor, is ranked among 3rd among the top technical hubs. This source is from MEDC, which is Michigan Economic Development Council. Few things I just want to highlight the names of a few companies that are having a home in Michigan. So Michigan is the only state that has more than one unicorn companies. And I'm sure you guys know unicorn. I will not get into those details, but Duo Security, OneStream Software, Rivian, StockX, they are like few of the initial unicorns, and we are expecting many more to join this list in the year future. There are like 16 plus Fortune 500 companies. Again, I will not go over names of every individual, but Ford Motor Company, Dove Chemicals, Penske, Whirlpool, they are all like the leaders into their own domains. And there are like hundreds of companies if I take Fortune 500 and Fortune 1000 and Fortune 5000 companies. So the idea again behind this is there are a lot of technical companies. They are always hungry and looking for some technical talents. Talking about this program, like post completion and as a part of the MBA program, we do have internship as a part of it. So Bill briefly mentioned about internship, but I would like to just add on. We at Soothsayer also we hire interns, and there are like hundreds of companies in the state of Michigan who are hiring interns to work in data science, business analytics, BI, etc. Since you guys will be the foreign students coming here on F1 visa, you will be eligible to apply for CPT and OPT. I will not get into those details in this session, but being a STEM program, you are eligible to get 12 months of OPT and then 17 to 24 months of STEM extension. So apparently, like you can work in US on OPT for up to 36 months. And then obviously, if there is an interest, you can apply for H-1B sponsorship and green card in future. Few job opportunities. I saw there was a question about some job opportunities. So Tech MBA is a STEM degree. When I say STEM degree, that means it gives you an opportunity to be on OPT for 36 months, where you can work for any employer in US. It is a Tech MBA. So the Tech MBA, the way it is designed, Dr. Venkat and Dr. Bill mentioned briefly about the curriculum. I will not go into the details, but I'll bring the industry perspective. Data science or data scientist or AI or machine learning engineers, it is not just about coding. You have to have that business acumen in order to be successful in a data science domain. So this program, Tech MBA, bridges that gap of technical and business. When we hire people or the employees in our company, I get sometimes a very good person who is excellent in Python as a programming, but they don't have a business acumen. Business means I'm not expecting them to run a business, but understand what business team is talking about. So this program will bridge that gap. That's my hope, and I'm sure we will make it successful. There are various roles that you can find a job, like a data scientist, data analytics, business analytics, BI, analytics manager, marketing analytics, supply chain analytics. There are like, that list can go on, but the whole idea is that if you have an engineering background, if you have an engineering degree in bachelor's, you can excel by doing this MBA, so that it gives you that business acumen, and then you can start working into any small or big organization. So the opportunities are unlimited. It depends on what is your background. What is your bachelor's degree. Even for non-engineering bachelor's degree, you still have an option to excel, get into the business analytics or data analytics job, where you don't have to do a lot of programming. You can use drag and drop type of tools like RapidMiner, Data IQ, Alteryx, etc., where you can analyze the data and then you can make it meaningful for the business. Again, like opportunities in Michigan, specifically for the tech program, Michigan is ranked first in the US for concentration of employment in technical occupation. We have a strong workforce of 250,000 skilled trade workers. And since 2010, so I know there was a downtime during around 2004 until 2009, but since 2010, we have seen the growth in the technology related job markets. We have also seen like the positive net migration where people are coming back to Michigan. Another advantage of being in Michigan is the cost of living. And I'll give an example. If someone is earning about $100,000 in the state of Michigan, it can be compared with $160,000 to $170,000 in New York or California or Chicago. So you can understand the cost of living is low, the quality of life is high, and I think that is what everybody is looking for. If you have any questions, I would rather have more interactive session here. We can take a few questions home, and then I can have a concluding remark. So I'm over to you. If you want to address a few questions, panelists and myself will be more than happy to address them.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely there's a question pertaining to eligibility. When you said 16 years of formal education, can they do, 3 years of undergraduate and 1 year of a postgraduate diploma? So there's one question by Prashant. So the question is, will they be eligible to apply for the program?
Karen, would you like to take that question?
Sure. What's the question? So would they be eligible once they're admitted and complete their courses at Insofi?
No, the question is, if they have, we were looking at 16 years of formal education. So typically once they complete their 10th and 12th and they have a 3-year undergraduate degree, if they have done any 1-year postgraduate diploma program in addition, will that be suffice for the eligibility criteria? Can they be accepted to apply for the program?
I believe so. We're actually finalizing that today too, as for students that are admitted to Insofi and taking the coursework and transfer to Walsh. So I will actually have a final answer, but I believe so, yes.
All right, thank you so much. And there's some questions pertaining to, in the chat box I see about the accommodation facilities in Michigan, Ohio. I'm sure, Gaurav, you mentioned a bit, but do they find better facilities to stay and continue to have their accommodation seamlessly there?
So, if I understood correctly, the question is about accommodation and about the proximity with Ohio.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, so as you saw in the US map, like Michigan is surrounded by the states like Ohio, we have Pennsylvania right around the corner, we have Illinois, Indiana. So in the state of Michigan, it is growing back again. It used to be blooming until mid of like early decade of 2000 and early decade of 2000, which is until 2004, 2006. It went down and it is again picking up. So there are ample of opportunities or ample of places to live. I'm here like from 20 years, and as a huge Indian community here, I know you guys are from the Indian origin. I am from India. Huge Indian community. There are I also sometimes call Michigan as, or Detroit in particular, as like city of temples. There are like lots and lots of temples within the proximity, a lot of Indian restaurants. So in short, there are a lot of opportunities for you to mingle with people and like stay and be safe in this area. But yeah, Ohio is next door. A lot of students from Ohio come to Michigan to do internship or to take jobs. Same thing from Michigan, they go to Ohio, and we also have a friendly rivalry with the state of Ohio.
Yeah, I'd also like to mention, and just for some clarity, we, as many typical or traditional universities have housing on campus. We do not have housing on campus, but as I said, there is housing in ample supply in and around the Detroit area, some of it even within walking distance. And there will be some organizations that will work with you as long as people on campus to make sure that you find appropriate housing before you would arrive here. But we do not have a dormitory on campus.
All right. In the interest of time, one last question, which is more pertinent to the program. To all the participants, anything pertinent to the program fee, duration, and things like that, we will have our team reach out to you and contact you one-to-one so that you can ask all the questions pertaining to program-specific details. But one last question that I felt we could probably spend a bit of time is about internships. What kind of internships can they apply? That's one of the questions a participant have asked. So if one of you could please clarify on the type of internships that they go through the program, that would be helpful.
So, Bill, I can take a shot, and if you or Susie or Karen would like to add, please feel free to add. So, as I mentioned, there are like lots and lots of companies are based out of Detroit, or in particular in Michigan. So, there are a lot of opportunities for you to do internship. So, assuming you have a 4-year degree or equivalent to 4-year degree from India, you do this course like data science part from India at Insofi. You come to Michigan to finish your rest of the business strategy part. Um, I myself, I'm looking for interns. We do hire interns all over US. We hire from Michigan, we hire from Ohio. So we hire interns all over. We are always looking for good candidates. And Suture is not a big organization. There are like a lot of huge organizations, and they're always looking for good, talented people. In terms of internship, you can, depending on your background in undergrad, if you are having engineering background, you can get internship, which is more on to, let's say, data science, as a data scientist, or as a machine learning engineer, or as a decision support engineer. Or if you have, let's say, administration degree or sciences degree from India, you can get internship into business analytics, data analytics. Data is huge, as Dr. Venkatesh was talking a bit earlier. There are a lot of opportunities where we need people who can understand, munch the data, bring a lot of data together, make some meaningful use. So in terms of internship, I see there are a lot of opportunities within the state of Michigan, but when we are talking about Michigan, when we are talking about this program, it is globally recognized. The students can get internship into any part of US. It is not limited just to Michigan. So Bill or others, if you would like to add, please do.
Along like people like yourself and your organization, Soothsayer, and so forth, we'll also be working with our career services department. And I would suggest to students that come to the program, one of the first things they do when they get to the United States is start inquiring and learning about potential internships. Because it'll only be, if you come over in August or September, you'll really be starting on your internships the following April. So it's not a lot of time. So I would suggest sooner than later in securing and learning about internships. Probably find a place to live and then start looking for an internship.
And we work closely with the students too on their internship with career services and securing an internship, ensuring that they have the correct paperwork and assisting with all that along the way also.
Thank you, Karen.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I think we're getting close to, for the time that we've had. So once again, I would like to thank you so much for all the participants joining us. And Gaurav, request you to please take over with the word of thanks so that we could conclude for today.
Thanks, Som. Thank you so much. As I said earlier, also, we are excited to launch this program. Thank you for everyone at Walsh, starting with Michael Levens. We had discussed, I think we started talking sometime mid of or early this year, and we have finally come to the point where we have a formal launch today. So I'm very excited and I'm thankful. Susie been instrumental to expedite things, and she's not in today's call, but we initially started talking with Anne, Mike, and then Bill was there. Thank you, Bill, for all your help. Karen, thank you for being with us today. And I'm sure my team and myself will keep on bothering you as applications. It will be a challenging work, but I think we'll make it work as smoothly as possible. Mike, who is not in today's call, he's a director of accounting. He was instrumental in getting the financial related things in place. And last but not the least, my friend Dev Shippers. Initially I started my conversation with Dave. And when I shared with him, this is the kind of a program which I think if we do it together with Walsh and Insofi, this would be a great program. So that's where my conversation with Dave started. And then he introduced to Mike Levens, and Susie got involved, and here we are. So thank you, Dave. He's not in today, but he is chair in IT and decision sciences, and Walsh Board of Trustees, officers, Walsh President's Office. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to Dr. Venkatesh, Dr. Murthy, and Som, and the entire Insofi team to put together this launch program. And thank you for the patience with the Walsh team, to answer the questions and whatever we have seen through in past few months. So I would like to thank you all for being with us today, and we will make this as a great and successful partnership. Thank you all.